Hello, good morning. This is Diecast Luna. Hope you all do well. Welcome to the episode of Vintage Diecast Monday episodes. And this week I thought we'd look at all things Porsche, all things vintage Porsche. We're going to be taking a look at some of the pieces from my collection, all Matchbox, because the Matchbox Porsche variations are some of my favourites. I have got Porsches. I've probably got about 25 vintage Porsches in my collection, all from different makers, majorettes and corgi, but like I said, the Matchbox ones are my favourite, so that is what we're going to be looking at. But anyway, we'll get straight into it and I'll run the first one in. So the first one is, we've got a bit of extra zoom on, it is a Porsche 910, or the Porsche 910. This is from about 1970 to about 1972, something like that. I can't remember that exactly, but I didn't pay a lot for this. This is a car boot find, so it has got a few little flea bites, but for what I paid for it, which I think I paid £1 or £2, it wasn't a lot. It is in remarkably good condition. This is one of my favourite vintage Porsches. There's just something about this I really like. It screams the sort of 60s, which is the sort of era it would have been from, I presume. It's got all them lovely curves. Still has its original paper sticker, which is in really quite nice condition. Like I said, this car's a solid little car. Few little flea bites, but you can allow that. Take a look underneath. So there you go. To Matchbox Series number 68, Porsche 910, made in England, 1970 copyright. And like I said, probably about 72, 71, 72 sort of time period, I should imagine. And like I said, that little knife edge there, little raised edge, is where the wheels ran. So these are after the transitional wheels, so they're starting to, super fast wheels started off very thin and sort of got thicker as time went on. And if you roll this, it does roll very well. And some of these earlier super fast cars, they were, and this is only my opinion, but they were, I would say, just as quick as some of the Hot Wheels. These were very weighty and they did roll very, very nicely. But anyway, that is the Porsche 910. So that is the first piece. Most of these cars aren't rare. They're just harder to find because of the condition they're in. I've got one here that's quite unusual. But anyway, we'll get into a couple more of my favourites. So the next one we're going to take a look at is this awesome Porsche 911 with the Boss logo on it. Got this huge Porsche badge on the front, but this obviously is a white one, opening doors, and on the base it should say, if we get a little extra zoom on again, because it is a dark base, so there you go, Porsche Turbo. And the original one of this was, I believe, 1978, so this is a later piece. This was in the later 80s. This was a later piece, but the original version, I believe, there was a like a metallic-y brown colour, which I do have somewhere in my collection, but it's in quite tatty condition. I have been on the lookout for the first sort of edition of this, I suppose you could say, which is the original one from Lesney, which would be the metallic brown. And there's also a silver, I believe it's a metallic silver, with a red interior, I believe, which was the other variation to it. So I'm always on the lookout for the first 911 Porsches from Matchbox. But like I said, I've never found the silver one yet, and I've only found the brown one in really tatty condition. But these are exactly the same casting. These are just later. These are from when, obviously, it turned to Macau, the Macau years, and this is from the later 80s, but it is exactly the same, just a different livery. And as I said before, you can see how the wheels got really thick on the Superfast, and they still rolled quite nicely, but not as nice as they used to. So we'll move that to one side, and then we'll take a look at another one which is exactly the same, just in a different livery. And like I said, I think I prefer this one just because I do like blue cars. But again, exactly the same car, just a different colour, and obviously a different livery. And it's always funny because I always used to laugh at these Porsches having tow hitches. As we all know, Matchbox used to love putting their tow hitches on their cars. but it's quite funny to see one on a Porsche. But anyway, no problem. But there you go, exactly the same. And again, I'm not quite sure which one of these two were first. I presume the whiter one is the older one of the two. But again, if we look, it's the same copyright, made in Macau, but it is a later edition. So they are pretty cool. Next is going to be a nice, awesome Porsche 928, which is this. And again, this is a later edition if we take a look. So there you go. The original one was from 1979, 1980 was the original one. And obviously this is a later edition, but exactly the same, just in a different livery. And if I remember rightly, this should have, yeah, suspension. Some did, some didn't, but this one did. But again, nice little piece. Again, I might be wrong, but I'm sure. I can't remember this, what colour, was it silver or was it brown? I actually can't remember what colour the original one of these were now. But again, great big opening doors with a nice snap. So that is the 928. And then the last piece I'm going to be showing, and this is the one that's from the little bit of research I did, because I've never seen it in the Duckham's livery, was quite unique, or not so common, shall I say. I know that Tyrone from Building the Ultimate Car, Diecast Car Collection, he did comment saying he's never seen this particular variation before. And that's the thing with Matchbox. They made so many variations. It is hard. If you had one piece from every car or every variation, yeah, there'd be a lot of cars. It's got a little bit of paint rash there, but it's spent all its life boxed. All these cars, apart from the first one, I actually unboxed at some point or another. But like I said, this is in the Duckham's livery. Is a 944 Porsche. Again, has opening doors, nice little snap. And if we get some extra zoom on, if I press the right button, let's try again. So, like usual, did what I always do and press the wrong button. But here we go. So 87 copyright. So, like I said, as far as I'm aware of, this was always a later design. This wasn't a Lesney design. It was, I think, basically from Macau. But there it is. Got some defroster lines. And some nice suspension, which they did carry over. The Macau years, they did a lot of their cars had suspension, which was always cool. But it's a cool piece. Oh, and it has the 8-dot wheels, which is apparently now getting quite... There's people out there that just collect the 8-dot variations. They collect nothing but 8 dots. And I'm not too bothered. I've got quite a few 8-dot wheel variation cars in my collection, but I ain't an 8-dot collector specifically. But anyway, that is today's video. Everything Porsches. I might do a part 2 next week and start showing some of the other Porsches I've got from Corgi and Majorettes. And I've got a few from some other diecast companies, but I can't think what they're called now. But I might do a part 2 and show some other vintage Porsches. But anyway, this is going to be the first of 2 videos today. I'm going to be doing a modern Matchbox unboxing shortly. But with that, please like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more vintage diecast Monday episodes, challenge videos, preview episodes, all that good stuff to come with that. I'll see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Take care.